Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. I welcome you all to a daily quiz video for today. Before we go ahead, again a quick reminder, if you have still not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button right away to get all the notifications about our current affairs initiatives right here at our YouTube channel. Now let's begin with question number 1 on your screen. Consider the following statements regarding legislative councils in India. Number 1. In 2020, Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly passed the resolution for abolition of the Legislative Council. Second, the Parliament can abolish a Legislative Council or create it by a special majority if the Legislative Assembly of the concerned state by a simple majority passes a resolution to that effect. And third, the tenure of a member of Legislative Council is 6 years with one third of the members retiring every 2 years. You have to tell which of these given statements is or are correct with regard to legislative councils. Now, as you know, there are 6 states in India that have a legislative council right now, including UP, Bihar, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. The first statement is correct. The concerned state legislative assembly can actually pass a resolution. However, they do not take the final call. It is the Parliament of India that takes the final call on this matter. However, the second statement is wrong because of the majority that is mentioned here. Parliament can abolish a legislative council or create with only a simple majority. On the other hand, when the resolution actually is passed in the state, that has to be passed by a special majority. So in 2020, Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly had passed a resolution by a special majority. Parliament so far has not taken any action on that. Third statement also is true. The tenure of the members of Legislative Council is the same as with the Rajya Sabha. So first and third are correct. The correct answer here would be C. The reason why we are discussing this is because Legislative Council elections are happening right now in multiple parts of the country. They were held in Maharashtra some days back. Now in UP also, there have been certain seats which were vacant. On those seats, Legislative Council elections took place where the results have come in. The results specifically are not important for us. What is important for us is the concept of legislative councils. Next, question number 2. Consider the following statements with regards to Dholavira. Number 1. Named as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in July 2021, Dholavira is believed to have been occupied around 3500 BC till around 1800 BC. Second, Dholavira is the fifth largest of the 8 major Harappan sites, including Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Ganeriwala, Rakhigadi, Kalibangan, Roopnagar, and Lothal. Third, Dholavira's location is on the Tropic of Cancer. Which of these given statements about Dholavira is or are correct? The correct answer is D. All these 3 given statements about Dholavira are absolutely correct. It was named as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in July 2021. It was considered as one of the most significant sites of the Harappa Valley civilization, one of the southernmost, not the southernmost, but one of the southernmost sites in the Harappan Valley civilization. Also, it is one of the 8 major Harappan sites that have been excavated so far, and it lies on the Tropic of Cancer. The reason why we are discussing this question is the government of India has been looking to give a boost to tourism through the G20 presidency. So as you know, there are a series of meetings that are happening for the G20 summit that will take place at the end of the year. For this, the G20 Tourism Working Group meeting will be held in the Run of Kutch next week. And the government of India is planning that the delegates that will come in from different nations, they will also be given a tour of the Dholavira site. And that is why it has come in the news. All this information that we discussed has been given in this article of the Indian Express newspaper. This will be a 3-day meeting which will have representatives from UN World Tourism Organization and International Labour Organization as well. This brings a great chance to India to showcase the varied heritage that we have and attract tourists from around the world. Next, question number 3. The Kaladan multimodal project aims to improve connectivity to which of the Indian states through Myanmar? Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, or Arunachal Pradesh. The interesting part is that all these 4 states actually share a border with Myanmar. The correct answer here is A, Mizoram. Not a difficult question to answer. So the idea here is that from the Kolkata port, we will connect to the Sitwe port in Myanmar. Through this, we will ensure that there is an increased connectivity to the Mizoram state. So that just in case we are not able to pass on some infrastructure requirements to Mizoram through our Indian mainland through the Siliguri corridor, we will make sure that we can access the same area through Myanmar when we go through the Kaladan multimodal project. The problem is that this project has been delayed time and time again. This project also is now in a conflict zone. That is why India right now, despite the fact that Myanmar doesn't have democracy right now, it has the rule of the military. Despite all of that, India is looking to maintain good relationship with Myanmar. This article in the Indian Express newspaper says it has been 2 years now since Myanmar has been controlled by its military. India has not been able to take a quick decision on whether or not we want to support the Myanmar junta, that's what they are called, for long term, or whether we want to support the return of democracy, whether India wants to give support to the most popular leader of Myanmar, that is Aung San Suu Kyi, or we are happy in maintaining the same relationship with the army as we have. Next, question number 4. It is a group of mostly Western creditor countries that grew from a 1956 meeting in which Argentina agreed to meet its public creditors. Their objective is to find sustainable debt relief solutions for countries that are unable to repay their bilateral loans. Which group is this? OECD, Paris Club, Global Environment Facility, or Development Bank of Latin America? It's a tricky question. The correct answer here is B. It is the Paris Club that is defined here. This was initiated in the form of a meeting that was held in 1956 where Argentina had agreed to meet the creditors, that is, those institutions that had given the loan to Argentina. The Paris Club, as you know, is an informal club of different nations coming together. They basically provide financial assurance to the IMF. IMF can then go ahead and give a loan to different countries, and that is what has happened in case of Sri Lanka as well. As you know, Sri Lanka right now is asking for a loan of $2.9 billion from the IMF to come out of its latest economic crisis. The Paris Club thus comes to help these nations. All 22 members of Paris Club are also members of the OECD. It includes Australia, Belgium, Canada, US, South Korea, Japan, Netherlands, etc. If you look at the website of the Paris Club, you would see that the Paris Club has reached 478 agreements so far, and the entire capital that they have affected is $614 billion. Next is a previous year question from 2016. Consider the following: Calcutta Unitarian Committee, Tabernacle of New Dispensation, Indian Reforms Association. Keshab Chandra Sen is associated with the establishment of which of the following? Pretty tricky question because these are not some of the things that you usually read in so much detail. The correct answer here is B. Second and third are correct. These are associations which were formed in some way or the other by Keshab Chandra Sen, while the first one, Calcutta Unitarian Committee, is wrong. So Calcutta Unitarian Committee was actually formed by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Dwarkanath Tagore and William Adam, and thus it is not under the list of those organizations formed by Keshab Chandra Sen. In 1881, he formed the Nava Bidhan, also known as New Dispensation, which meant a new form of religion having differences within Brahmo Samaj. He was also a part of the Indian Reform Association to legalize the Brahmo marriage and to fix the minimum age of marriage as well. Thus, he was a person behind Indian Reform Association as well. Next is a fact of the day, and today we want to discuss about a very interesting state in India, that is Sikkim. Now, Sikkim is a state in India where people of Sikkim are actually exempted from paying income tax. Many people don't know about this. So what has happened? Why is it in the news? So basically there was a review petition filed in the Supreme Court on that matter. Let me take you towards the background of this. January 13th, the Supreme Court said that the benefit of income tax exemption that is given should be given to all the Sikkimese people without anyone distinguishing amongst all of them. Before this judgment, the tax exemption was only given to old Indian settlers who had settled in Sikkim before the merger of the state into India on April 26, 1975. So that was kind of a cutoff date. Now the court is saying that no, it should be given to all the Sikkimese. This is as per section 1026 AAA under the IT Act. Now, this section is considered as a section of exempted income. The petitioners challenge that this exemption should only be given to those who are considered as Sikkimese. If you look at the definition of the word Sikkimese in this section, it says individuals whose name is recorded in the register maintained by the Sikkimese Subject Regulation 1961. 73,000 odd individuals whose names are included here by the virtue of the Government of India order in August and April 1990-1991, and those individuals whose names do not appear in the register of Sikkim subjects, but it was established beyond doubt that their ancestors were here. So there is a debate about who should get these exemptions or not. Now remember, before 1990, the Sikkim Income Tax Manual promulgated by the ruler of Sikkim was applicable. This means that there was no discrimination between April 1, 1990 and April 1, 2008, and Sikkimese women who had the benefit of exemptions were deprived from the same after April 1, 2008. So this is a long battle about who exactly would be the one who would get exemption of income tax from Sikkim and who would not. This is it for today's daily quiz video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day ahead.